Hello, welcome to No Substitutes, the podcast where I have some of my favorite people on to talk about what ingredients make them who they are. And today I have a very special guest. We actually met at one of my hunting grounds, I guess I'll call it, the Comedy Store. Everyone knows
hunting grounds.
Yeah, well, everyone knows I love comics. But he is a great comedian, a producer, and one of my favorite people that I've met through the Comedy Store. So please welcome Josh Potter.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
You get a round of applause.
I don't know if I ever had to sit on a couch. Should I face you or should I look out over there?
You can look at wherever you want to look. Yeah.
I've never been hunted. Well, I guess I was hunted recently at the Comedy Store.
You were hunted recently at the Comedy Store by...
It's new.
It's new.
Yeah. I was hunted by a woman.
Yeah.
I assume that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was nice. It's hopefully I'll get hunted a little more.
Hunted, yeah. No. So you hear that, ladies? You're welcome to go hunt
It's
Josh.
the only place I go, so hopefully I meet my future wife there.
Awesome.
I'm not anywhere else. Hopefully she shows up.
Hopefully she shows up.
Yeah.
At the bar outside.
The patio at the Comedy
little patio.
Store. I really keep my hunting grounds very small.
Where do you like to go hunting?
That's it. I'm always at the Comedy Store. It sucks. Or I'm on the road.
Right. The road can get cussed.
I actually last night was going to go do something else other than go to the Comedy Store, but I was like, I got to do a set. And I just went and signed up for Fallouts like an idiot. So I could have went to a party. I was invited to a party and I didn't go.
Could have met your future wife there.
Exactly. I'm really putting things in a myopic scope.
Comics are like that, though. You guys are workaholics. I feel like it's really, you guys don't like to do anything else almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's work, but it's all, then it's like, I can have a few beers.
It's a special, I get it. I'm not even a comedian, and I love getting to go to the store, the improv, and it's like a breakfast club, It's like, oh, this is all my favorite people. That's true.
It's all my friends.
Yeah, it's like, why would you go anywhere else? Speaking of your profession, what would you say are like three? I have one job. What are three? What are like three qualities that you need to have to be like a good comic?
Well, I would think delusion is one of them. You have to have a little bit of that, because I mean. It's funny, like when I started, I didn't even think about not making it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever that means, or like the fact that I could never achieve anything. I didn't think about that at all. It was just like a matter of like, I just wanted to do it. Every little step forward was fun and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, well, of course I'm doing this now. You kind of like get into that mindset. So it's just kind of crazy to think like there really isn't that many people who like achieve like headlining at a club or whatever. I mean, it's just like a thing where you go like, oh, it's ballsy to be like, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And then you go out and do it. So I think delusion is a little bit of it. I think you need a little self-loathing because like people are going to all over you forever. You're just going to get all over you.
I love that. It's very humbling.
No, it is. It's humbling, and it's but you have to like kind of go in going like, well, none of these people are going to make me feel myself than I already make myself feel. So I think there's a little part of that. And I think you got to be funny, obviously, if you're going to do comedy.
Yeah. That would be really unfortunate.
There are some people who do it and make somewhat of a living who aren't very funny at all, though. So
I actually know like two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunted people?
Yeah.
Are they prey of yours?
Yeah, they were prey.
So why did you then sleep with them if they were not funny? Because they were hot?
Yeah.
Okay. So it didn't matter that they were comics?
Well, I never saw one of them do comedy, and then like I never watched his comedy. I was just like, oh, this guy's just cute.
He was just a guy.
He was just a guy at the Comedy Store.
Yes.
And then slept with him, and then I saw his comedy, and I was like, oh.
Did you get the ick?
I did get the ick. I could not sleep with him after that.
That is like a fear of all comics, is that you bring a girl to the wrong show.
Oh my God, yeah.
And she sees you eat it, and then she's like, this is this guy's job?
Or it's a good I think that's like what you do for like a third date or something. Definitely not first date, but like a third date, because then I think that can anticipate. If you bomb and she still wants to fuck you after, that might be the woman you marry.
I wouldn't want to fuck a girl that wants to fuck me after I bomb. That's what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
I don't know.
You would know it's like a
I've been doing comedy since I was 22, and I actually started comedy before I lost my virginity. And I only got laid because of doing comedy forever. That's the only time I've ever, a girl has had to have seen me perform or just like know who I am from comedy. Mm-hmm. That's literally the only, I've never been like just at a bar and a girl's like, who is that? That's never happened.
Well.
So I guess I get it out of the way quickly is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
By the third date, then, you know, they've seen me probably already.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even be talking
true.
to me
and
if they didn't see me.
There's something like, it is like a very attractive quality. I don't know if it's the stage presence, but yeah, I think.
Well, yeah, you're commanding a room of people and making them react
to your words.
Like I mean, you're making them laugh. It's not planned. They don't go like, oh, this is the time I laugh now and I'm going to do it. You know, they just all happen to laugh at the same time, which is crazy when you think about it.
This is true.
So yeah, it is kind of powerful. I guess I can see that. Mm-hmm. And it must be aphrodisiac of some sort because, like, I mean, I look this way and then it just, you know, I can climb out of this hole that I'm in already and get laid, you know?
And then you get laid. Yeah. Because the other thing, too, is I've also had sex with not the most attractive comics. Mm. Straight up because I'm like, you're brilliant up there.
Hey, it works sometimes.
It does. It does. It is an aphrodisiac. That's why it's my hunting ground.
Yeah, I think it's like music or anything else. I mean, anybody on a stage.
Yeah.
Even a politician, I'd imagine, if he's like giving an Obama-like speech up there where people are like, holy shit, people would, their pussies are getting wet. You know what I mean? I mean, Martin Luther King fucked a lot of chicks on the road doing his dreams or whatever the hell speech he had.
Dreams.
He had a dream, and then girls were like, oh my God, I have a dream too. I'm going to hop on that dick, you know?
Yeah, hop on that dick.
He fucked all the time. And good for it. Good for him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, he deserves it.
He deserves it.
Yeah, if anyone deserves to get pussy from speeches, it's Martin Luther King.
From speeches. Yeah. From having stage presence.
Exactly.
MLK.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, speaking of the road, what would you say is like the worst food you've had on the road?
The worst food. I mean, everything sucks when you're getting food at like 3 a.m. It's just never. I mean, you can get like in my 20s, I'd be like, oh, it's so great or whatever. Now it's like I'll eat. I remember we just were in Vegas.
Oh, I hate Vegas.
And we were staying like, you know, in the arts district. That's where the club is, Wise Guys. Okay. And I think we got like fucked up and we were pretty high. And my buddy Hormos, who's opening for me, he was like, let's get pizza. Or he goes, I got us pizza. Like, because I bought him food the whole weekend or whatever. So he's like, I want to repay you. He's like, I bought us pizza. And it was some Domino's or horseshit. Sorry if you have a sponsor.
No, we are not sponsored by Domino's.
But yeah, it was some Domino's or what. I don't even know if it was like Papa John's or whatever. But it was, while we were eating it, we were like, this shit is so gross. Like, we are going to regret this. And sure enough, we did. God, it was the worst night. In terms of what we ate. But yeah, I think that was pretty bad. I don't know, like awful. A specific city that has like the shittiest of foods though, you know?
Right.
New Haven, Connecticut maybe, or something like that. They have their dumb pizza that everyone raves about. That's about it. I can't think of any late night food is garbage though.
That's true, yeah. And you're probably eating like after a show, not before.
Yeah, I never like eating before a show. Sometimes I just won't eat at all, which is even worse. But I dated a girl that said I used to drink my dinner because I would just drink like 12 beers.
Yeah, there you go.
And just be like, well, it's hops, you know, it's wheat.
That's wheat.
Yeah, there's some bread in there somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much just ate a loaf of bread.
Exactly.
Like a peasant.
Right. I'll do that.
Yeah.
It's bread.
Bread.
It's fine. What's your favorite bread?
My favorite bread? Probably sourdough.
I think that's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. And
I like rye.
You look like
I'm a rye guy.
You're a rye
All
guy.
right. I don't know what that means. But...
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, what was it like headlining for the first time?
It was great. I mean, like having like a first headlining weekend where like you get 5 shows, you know, the club is like sucking your dick and everything. That's like, I made it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before that, you get some headlining gigs here and there, some like one-nighters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels good too. But then you're more like, is anyone going to come? Because now it's on you, you know, your name's
It's
on the
your
fucking
show.
marquee now.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to come see you. So if 10 people come, you have to apologize. Yeah, I feel bad. Like a waitress is getting cut because there's nobody here. You know, you feel bad.
Aww.
But like, it's a lot of pressure to a degree because you want to sell the tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's some pressure there, but it feels great once it's all like happening and you got some tickets sold and people are there and they're having fun and everything.
Yeah.
Then that makes it, you go, I don't want to do anything else.
That's true.
I don't want to do anything ever again.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Every day I'm like, when am I going to have to get a job? I wonder. You know,
There is that weird
fear.
yeah, there's that weird fear of like imposter syndrome. I think everyone kind of, or not everyone, but or at least some people's delusion shows better than others.
Well, yeah.
I always am like, granted, I wouldn't be upset if I went and worked at a restaurant, but I was like, yeah, I'm like, will I ever have to go work at a restaurant again? Or
But you have like at least a foundation for a backup plan.
yeah.
Where
But
like you could go work in one. Maybe it'll be your own restaurant.
Maybe. But yeah, there's like, because I was a line cook and just this other version of myself almost, it feels like, that when people do things like give me a show or give me praise, I'm like, I still feel like that line cook kid. And like, I'm like, oh,
where you're gonna get yelled
at, or just it feels like it could all disappear tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I know that. I have now reached a point where I start like getting nervous about like, how am I going to keep this going? Like I got to this certain level and I'm like so psyched about it. But then I look and I'm like, I have to live for like 40 more years. How do I keep this, you know, at this clip going for that amount of time? And I don't really have any like contingency plan or like thing. I could just go do this or whatever. I found out when I moved to LA, I am borderline unemployable. Like I applied at Target, I applied at Burger King, I applied at like any random place and they all rejected me. I couldn't get a job at fucking Target. I'm like, am I like, you know, retarded? You know,
Target?
I can't even get a fucking job at Target? Like, it really made me feel like shit. And then my buddy said to me, he goes, maybe aim just slightly higher.
Right.
So then I applied for like an office job and then I got some random office job. So that was cool. But
well, there you go.
yeah, I felt elated though.
Being rejected by Target.
Yeah. It was a real alarming situation. I was like, am I
awful?
Have I just always been? I don't know. Like, look who they hired. It's crazy. Anyway.
So you're from Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you move to LA?
I moved here in September of 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not that long ago, but COVID makes it seem like less long ago than it actually is, I think.
Yeah, COVID made everything feel kind of
Yeah, because
like
when COVID started, I was like, I had lived here for just about 3 years, maybe like 2.5 years actually, because it was late 2017. And then when COVID ended, kind of, or like when we finally like pulled ourselves out of it, it was like, oh, now I've lived here for 5 years. That's crazy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been here for 2 years now, and it doesn't feel like that.
Where'd you live before this? Just up where you were before?
San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not the like sticks.
Not Humboldt.
Yeah, Humboldt.
What do you miss about living in Buffalo?
Oh, I miss I would live in Buffalo right now if I could. I mean,
yeah,
I love it. I miss everything about it.
the What's the comedy scene like?
The comedy scene is fine, but it's not like there's no show business happening there. So like I had to move to like progress my career, and I'm very glad I did because it worked. But the comedy scene's like not terrible there. There's like bars to do shows. You could do a show every night, pretty much. You can do a set every night, and that was cool, and it helped me grow and everything. And there's a club there where I got a lot of work out of, and so that was all great. All my friends and family live there though, so I miss them, and I miss like my favorite bar, and I miss like, you know, just the people really in general.
Yeah. What was dinner like in your family growing up?
Dinner was weird because my family, both my parents worked in restaurants. And so they made food for strangers all day. So when they came home, they're like, I'm not making fucking food again.
I don't want to say that. I mean, that's sad, but I do understand that feeling.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'd eat out all the time. I mean,
okay.
My mom made like one thing at home. My mom wasn't, she was a waitress. She wasn't a cook. So.
But your dad was the cook.
But my dad was a great cook. And he like, when he moved to America, he like became a line cook. Then he eventually like ran restaurants and everything like that. But he was a great cook, and he'd come home and he'd be like, I'm not fucking cooking. No chance in hell. And my mom would try, but she was awful. So we would just be like, Mom, this is terrible. So we'd always just eat out. My mom would just be like, fuck it.
Did you ever eat at your dad's restaurant?
Yes. I mean, my dad was like a diner cook. He wasn't like a chef or anything like that. But he was great. I mean, he was like a fantastic line cook.
Awesome.
And he used to own a diner called Hot Dog Heaven. And we used to eat there all the time. And I worked there as like when I was 14. My dad skirted labor laws by employing his children. So I'd work there under the counter or under the table or whatever for years, a couple years, 13 to 16, I guess.
Wow, yeah.
He would just pay me cash.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably illegal.
Yeah, a little bit. Does LA or Buffalo have better food?
I mean, I'm assuming LA has better food, but Buffalo is like it's got God tier bar food. You know what I mean? Like
God tier bar
yes,
food.
like wings. Like we invented the chicken finger sub.
Wow.
The stinger sub, where it's chicken fingers and roast beef. I mean, they sound like crazy things a stoner would come up with, and they probably are that. But it is like people have gone there and raved about the food. I mean, it is like Guy Fieri's like wet dream. Buffalo.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's actually from where I'm from.
Really?
He's from Ferndale. Well, I'm not from Ferndale. Oh, so yeah, that's another famous person from Humboldt County. Because I was trying to think of famous people from Humboldt, and we have Sarah Bareilles.
Ooh.
The creator of SpongeBob and Guy Fieri.
Damn. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a very interesting lineup.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not the worst, but...
Buffalo has Chad Michael Murray, the Goo Goo Dolls, William Fichtner, who's like an actor. He's been in like... He's not like a star in anything. He's like in a bunch of movies though. Who else do we have? Annie DeFranco.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
I can't think of any others.
That's awesome. Josh Potter.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying. I think I'm the first Buffalo comic to have their name on the Comedy Store. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. You should feel proud.
Yeah, I am proud.
Awesome. Who are some people you would say that have helped you grow in your life?
In terms of my job or in terms of life?
I think just in life.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Segura has helped me grow my career more than literally. I mean, it's insane how much, but so I got to put him on the list. And I've like learned a lot about like business and like just shit I never would have picked up on my own. I don't think, you know, just watching him go through his stages of growth in his career and getting to like see that, and then like me like slowly coming up to like basically the point of where I met him. Do you know what I mean? Like now I'm like, oh, this is where Tom was when I like met him in terms of career. So now I kind of saw like where he went from there.
Right.
So that's cool. I don't know. I mean, in radio, the two guys I worked with, Shred and Reagan, they helped me like become a man, really. I mean, I was like 16 when I started working with them.
Oh, wow.
And so I worked with them until I was 30. So
Yeah.
I grew up there. I did my first like drugs, had sex, you know, like I was a virgin who was completely sober when I started. And then by the time I left, I
You were a grown
was
man.
yeah, exactly. Needless to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So they kind of shepherded me through all that.
That's awesome. What are some like life events that shaped you?
I mean, doing radio was huge. It was like I learned what I thought was funny. I learned how, I mean, I always like enjoyed public speaking, but doing it on the radio is like a different thing because there's no audience. But there is. Do you know what I mean? Like you're talking alone in a room, but probably like, you know, hundreds of thousands of people could be listening to you.
Right.
So you have to kind of learn how to like do that. You know what I mean? It's like, and that taught me how to like do comedy better, to be honest. You know, it was like now when I'm talking in terms of comedy, I can do it in a way where like, sure, it's a room full of people, but people who are listening will feel like I'm talking to them.
Yeah. No, that's a good skill to have.
Yeah. So I mean,
kind of
there's
like
that.
goes to the qualities of being a good comic, I feel like. As well.
Yeah. And I like, I don't know, I had a bunch of like, in my 20s, I was a giant fuck up. So, I mean, I used to just fuck up everything. And I you know, I got a what do they call it, DUI when I was like 21. And that was like one of those things where it was like, hey man, you need to like chill out a little bit. Like, hey, you're not gonna get away with everything. So
Right.
getting arrested like was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, you have to, I feel like 20s though is for, what's it called?
Making
It's like-
mistakes.
It's for making mistakes, but it's also like to really show you like, yeah, you're not invincible at all.
Yeah, you know, you think you are, and you're
You
like, I
think you are.
can't die, and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. And now I'm like 38, and I'm like, boy, oh boy, death is
Boy,
close.
oh boy.
I can feel it knocking on the door, death, you know?
Death. Yeah.
Every day it's closer.
Yeah, it'll get you.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, it's coming. It's so funny though, because then you're also like, I gotta be alive.
Oh, I know, it's daunting. It's like, where are you, death? That's what I think. That's what I'm going to be like in 10 years. I'm going to be like, come on, death. Get in here.
Get up in here.
I'm dying over here without you. Put me out of my misery.
What are some unpopular food opinions you have?
I'll tell you one. I hate eating.
You hate eating?
Hate it. I don't mind going to a restaurant. I don't mind if it's like an occasion, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're going out to dinner. But like the whole thing where we have to eat 3 times in a day. Oh, God.
Well, you definitely don't have to do that, especially if you're a 38-year-old man.
I certainly don't eat 3 times a day, but it's like people who just like all of a sudden you're at, I don't know, you're with your friends or something, you're having a great day.
Oh, yeah, and they're like, let's get lunch.
Let's get lunch. I'm like, oh, all right. So you get lunch, and then it's like 2 hours later, we're going to dinner. It's like, I have to eat again? It's just so strange.
I get it. Okay,
I don't know. I don't
that.
like, and it's just the...
I hate eating.
It's the grazing. It's really grazing all day. People who are like angry because they don't have like chips or something. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think boring people are the ones who like, if they can't think of anything else to do with their friends during the day or like at night, it's always, I swear, it's always people where I'm like, if you need alcohol or to be eating for us to have fun, there's something that tells me you don't have the best personality.
Sure. No doubt. I would rather drink than eat if we're going to pick one of the two.
Yeah, any first date I do, there's no eating. I'm like, I can't know what you sound like. And,
exactly. Talk about the ick.
Yeah.
I would rather, like, and I always hate I have friends like this. If, like, you're out drinking, you're having a good time, you're vibing, like, you're at a bar, it's fun. Someone's like, oh, man, you know what I want? French fries. It's like, let's go get French fries. Now we're going to leave this fun atmosphere, go to a brightly lit diner and eat French fries? Like, grow up or whatever. I don't know. It's fucking...
No.
can be.
Does the Comedy Store have food again?
They kind of do. They got little pizzas and stuff, but for the most part, not really. That's the way comedy should be. Just drink and get
just drink.
fucked up.
Their 2-drink minimum has fucked me up.
How so?
Many a time.
Oh, because you just get like a wild drink?
Well, I just always get like tequila on the rocks. And then I'm like...
That's a tough
by like
2-drink minimum, yeah.
Yeah, by like the third person, I'm like, oh.
Nah,
feeling silly.
Those are wild. Then there's a person next to you that's getting 2 like 7-Ups.
Yeah,
their 2-drink minimum.
I think there's a part of me that's like, if I have to buy 2 drinks, it should be alcohol. And now I'm like, I probably should do like water or Coca-Cola next time and not 2 tequilas on the rocks, because that's why by the end of it, I'm like out on the patio and
as long as you're not screaming from the third row or whatever, you're fine.
No, I've never done that.
I know. It takes a certain type. You can always tell.
It's so, anytime even people who do it, and they're not yelling, like people who like respond to comics and I'll just hear them. I'm like, please go away.
You notice that. Like I try to ignore those people because they're kind of just like, they're not doing anything necessarily wrong. You don't really want to call them out on it, but like you hear people who act like you're having a conversation with them.
Yeah, it's almost...
And they'll be like, oh yeah, totally. And you're
like that. Whenever someone does that, I definitely get the ick.
Oh, me too.
Like, what the fuck?
It's like, listen, lady, I'm not talking. I'm talking to everybody. But
this is a group.
I just let them go until they say something crazy.
Yeah, unless it's heckling,
yeah,
it's like I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll definitely like do that. Be like,
sure,
fuck,
give
them a stink eye and just make them feel like, no, that's not what this is.
I recently had a person who was heckling me, but it was like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like, I would say something like, say I was talking about my dad or whatever, they'd be like, oh, did he? And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
fuck?
I called the person out. I'm like, what the fuck? And then other people in the crowd were like, he has Tourette's. So, because apparently they dealt with this in the show already, apparently. And I was like, Tourette's, like, that's an odd form of Tourette. Usually Tourette's is like, you know, like, bitch,
fuck, yeah.
Your Tourette's is just sarcastic, poignant comments in my direction. Like, at the best times, by the way, like when it's silent, when I'm pausing. Like, it's not like you're just doing it. You're doing it like in the worst moments. And they're like cutting too. They're like, oh, so what? Or something like that. You're like, God. Jesus, your Tourette's is a real asshole, dude.
Your Tourette's is...
You're making a real asshole in your Tourette's.
What the fuck? Is that real?
I'd hope so. I mean, or it was just an elaborate way for this guy to not get thrown out.
Yeah, that must have been it. Because I'm like, what the fuck?
Everyone around him was like Tourette's.
I've never met someone with Tourette's.
I don't think the guy has Tourette's. I think he just hates my guts.
Yeah, I think he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
That's not... That's like not a get out of jail free card.
No, it was ridiculous. I was like, if you have that kind of Tourette's, you're not allowed to go to a comedy show. Like,
I don't think anybody.
I'm blind in one eye, and there's things I cannot do. I'm not crying about it or trying to do them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. That person who has Tourette's, should stay the fuck home.
Not go to the comedy shows.
Comedy on the television.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so much now to watch in your own.
Turn on YouTube.
Where you can go yell and be sarcastic.
Exactly.
Have you ever used your eyesight to get out of jail free card?
I definitely got pulled over one time while I was blasted. Oh. And a cop goes, he's like, something fucked up with your eyes? He's like, looking at me. And I was like, yes, there certainly is. Do you want the list? And then he was like, you're good. You can get out of here. And I was like, thank you.
Thank you.
And I was so fucking high. I wasn't drunk. I was just like, I was at my cousin's house just playing Madden and getting high for like 5 hours. So
nice.
My eyes were all like, probably more fucked up than normal. But then he saw like the real bad one. He's like, oh, Lord.
Oh, fuck.
Something fucked up with your eyes there? You got something messed up with your eyes? Like, yes, sir.
Yes. Was it something you were born with, or?
I mean, sort of. It was like I was born premature. And so when you're born early, I mean, like, I don't know how it is in today's, I was born in the 80s. So it's like, you know, prehistoric times. But they put you in an incubator, and evidently the oxygen that they're pumping in, I was in it for a very long time, so like that oxygen that they pump in there can fuck up your eyes and just make them weaker or whatever. So I grew very nearsighted. I got glasses like when I was 2, and when you're nearsighted, your eye just becomes like oblong. That's like the whole thing. Like you get nearsighted because your eye is just growing oblong. And I was so severely nearsighted that my eye grew to the point where like my retinas tore. Ooh. So I had to have surgeries on both my eyes to just like connect the retinas. And this one, the one doesn't work anymore. The surgery didn't go as great as the other one. So that's why it's like it is. Nice. And now it's gone.
Now it's gone.
So yeah, that's how. So I kind of was ipso facto born with it, I suppose.
Do you think you could sue the hospital?
No, I mean, I remember when like it happened, I was like, we should get this guy on malpractice or whatever. But my parents were not rich, and they were like, let's just cut our losses here.
Damn.
I don't know. Never really went through with it.
It's your fault. You should have been born with rich parents.
I know, it's so fucked up, right? Like, say that every day.
Mommy and Daddy could have got you a nice little lawsuit
I'd
settlement.
love to be a Nepo baby. You kidding me?
Oh my God. Yeah. Anytime I see Nepo babies getting hate, I'm like, you're just mad because you're not
jealous.
one.
You would totally love being a Nepo
I'm like, I would, if I was born rich, God.
If I didn't care about failing, it's like, everyone's like, well, that wouldn't make you try as hard. I go, I think it would still, but I mean, like, it'd just be nice to be able to breathe and be like, at least I have this golden parachute.
Yeah. When I learned what trust funds were and shit,
oh
I was
my
like,
God.
what the fuck?
I feel like if I had one of those, I'd blow through it pretty fast, though. Like, how does it always grow?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. And a lot of times, like, kids aren't allowed to touch it until they're like, well, I guess.
Yeah, when you turn 18, I would have been. I'm 38 now. 20 years later, I would be like, so I have a GoFundMe because I ran out of trust fund money. Like, can you help out?
My trust fund.
Listen, I spent all my trust fund on ridiculous shit. Can you help me out, world? Sign up for my Patreon.
So I think at the end of the day, you would still be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, money at this point isn't going to change much other than, I don't really know what it would change.
I will say that, like,
where I live, maybe like a house, but that's about it.
Yeah. There's I don't know.
Pretty set in my ways, unfortunately.
You like what you like.
For better or worse.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish the internet didn't know about you?
Well, I'll tell you this. During COVID, I just talked about this though on a podcast before, but I'll tell you, during COVID, as COVID was about to begin, I was like set to headline like all these clubs. Like I had a tour, like a legit, like crazy money. All the clubs I would have wanted to headline. Some of them I still haven't been able to like headline. It gets canceled obviously because of COVID. And I went into like the deepest, darkest, like I'm gonna off myself type depression. And I just like I just was like, I couldn't like ever bring myself to do it. So I was just like, I'm just going to drink beer and rot essentially. So I would just drink beer, throw it into the fucking ground like afterwards. So like I had beer cans all over my room and like my bathroom was just like destroyed. I didn't even care. And I just was like, it got to the point where like finally like COVID had been going on for long enough where I was kind of like snapping out of it a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck happened to me? And I put it on the internet. I had like a person come clean it and to show how like gnarly it got. And I hate that I did that because people think I just live like that forever. Right. They don't realize I was having a legitimate psychotic break. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I mean, it was so close to me just like doing whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm kind of like coming out of this. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, but meanwhile, my house is fucked up. So I filmed it all, and that was a mistake. I wish that wasn't on the internet.
Kind of want to see it now.
I mean, it's still up there. I mean, go for it.
Is it on your Instagram or where?
No, it's on YouTube. It's on your mom's house channels. YouTube, over 300,000 people have watched it already. And
my God.
I remember there was like a couple girls who knew me before pandemic who watched it, and they were like, man, you must have been in a shit place because I've been to your apartment before. And I was like, yeah, it's not like I was just living like this forever. It's like, this is what it put me into.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But still, like now, I mean, I have a different, like that was my old apartment. Now I have a new apartment, and I've had girls come over and be like, oh, I thought you'd be like a lot messier than this or whatever. And I'm like, oh God.
Oh God.
It's never going to escape me.
Damn.
So whatever. It was extreme though. You know, it's not like there was like shit on the walls or anything, but it was like, you know.
There's just beer everywhere.
Beer.
Yeah.
Hair. You know.
I get that. I mean, I feel like 2020 was like everyone's depression and alcoholism became.
I got back on Xanax. That was the worst.
Oh, God.
Shouldn't have done that.
Fuck.
Took me a little while to get off that again, but I had kicked it already once when I moved here. I was like, well, I don't know anybody who has Xanax in LA. And then I moved here and I was like, well, that got it out of my system. And then 2020 came about.
Right.
And then I found a guy who had, because I just tweeted, I'm like, boy, I wish I had Xanax or something like that. And then sure enough, a guy DM'd me. He's like, you want some Xanax?
You want some Xanax? Yeah, it's
yes, I do.
Easy.
And then sure enough, I had a new dealer. And then,
fuck.
Yeah, so I went down that slippery slope for all of COVID. And then coming out of it, I had to shake that bad boy. That was rough. But,
damn.
You know, that helps when you're doing Xanax to not clean your apartment. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
For sure. One will lend to the other for sure.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done Xanax.
Well, don't.
Yeah. It just, I don't know.
You don't like downers? You're not a downer girl?
I don't know. I'm like, I hate ketamine. I tried even just like a microdose of it, and it's not really for me. Like I kind of don't understand how.
Every time I do ketamine, I'm like, boy, I wish this was Coke.
Pretty much. I'm like, yeah, so I feel like that. I like stimulants. I like mushrooms. I like things that kind of make me feel like invincible.
Sure. I do like the downers. I do like a barbiturate, like a, right. I used to have like a Perks thing when I was a kid, like when I was in 2006, when I had the eye surgery, they gave me Percocets, and I was obsessed with them for a while. Yeah. And then I found Xanax, and I was doing that. I'm like, this is a little mild Percocet, you know? It's like, it's not a painkiller.
I think I had Percocet when I got my tonsils removed.
Yeah. Wow, they gave them for your tonsils?
I was an adult.
Oh my Lord, that's still crazy. Like, I'll go get my tonsils removed right now.
Oh my God. Just get some Percocets. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I did like my downers, but like I said, with ketamine, I don't really know what, I would do it and I would just be like, I did it because snorting stuff's fun. I mean, it just is plain fun. I mean, that's good old American good times. But then you go like, this isn't Coke.
Have you ever booped something?
Up my ass? Is that when you put it up there? I don't think so, no. I know people were doing like alcohol. That was like...
I've done that. I did a Truly in my
You did a Truly when you were in college? Was this before you've done anything else with your butt, or were you already like, my butt's an expert at...
No, I had this guy I was seeing. We put a...
The tube, the funnel?
Yeah, the tube in my butt. Or no, I think he actually like... blew it up my butt.
How much could he blow up there?
I don't know. We were on mushrooms.
And he was like, and he was just gonna like go in and like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one way to apply it for sure.
And
did you get drunk?
Yeah.
From like even as much as he just had in his mouth.
Yeah.
Man, he must have really like spit it up in there because that's tough. I mean, you can't just get drunk from it hitting the surface.
I know.
Like pooling on the.
I think it went. Yeah, he.
You got to get it in there.
I'm trying to remember if we had a beer bong or not, but yeah, did Truly, yeah. And now it's like I've had other things up there, just from work.
I thought perhaps you had already explored that aspect of your butt. No. So this is before all that.
Yeah, this is before I even tried anal for the first time.
Wow. No, I've never done. I remember like when I was in college. I never met anybody who did this, but this was like a fad on the internet. People were soaking tampons.
Yeah, I remember
in vodka and then putting them in their ass. And I think it's like a, what do they call it? Like a urban legend. Because I think you
You could
die.
like die.
Yeah.
You can go into septic shock or some shit.
It's not septic shock. It's just that
No.
you will get alcohol poisoning if you keep
poisoning.
that thing soaking in your ass.
You can get septic shock if you're a woman and a tampon gets stuck for.
Yes, if you keep your tampon in extra long.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's bleeding, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Science, folks.
Womanhood.
Womanhood.
It's actually, yeah.
That'd be cool if guys got septic shock from putting vodka-soaked tampons into their assholes. It's like the same. For Women's Day, you got to do that.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel like we're having septic shock.
Just from this conversation. If you could eliminate one food from this world, what would it be?
If I could eliminate one food, it would probably be tomatoes.
Not a tomato fan?
You know, and I say that, but I mean, I like tomatoes like in sauce and shit. But I hate a sliced tomato on a sandwich. It's a sandwich ruiner.
Yeah.
It gets its juice and its seeds all over everything. Everything tastes like a tomato.
Yeah.
When you have a tomato on it.
That's true.
Or in a salad.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of tomatoes in salads.
Yeah, because it's just like, it just supersedes all the flavor. Yeah, it's tomatoes. Everything's tomatoey.
Yeah. Tomato should be a condiment, not a food.
Yes. And I don't even really give a shit about ketchup.
Yeah.
Ketchup can get fucked too. I don't care. I like tomato soup, and I like spaghetti sauce.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. Someone recently told me that they put ketchup in their spaghetti, and I almost had a heart attack.
That's childhood trauma.
Yeah.
That's what brings that. When you're still putting ketchup in your spaghetti.
Yeah, I'm like, who touched
you? You got molested. Yeah.
You got molested. For sure. That's literally what that's kind of what's going through my head. Okay, just making sure I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
Because that freaked me the fuck out.
I mean, you must get the ick with, like, say you date a guy and he's like got a child's palate where he's eating like chicken nuggets and shit.
Oh, if I
I know so many guys like that.
A grown man's house and he pulls out chicken nuggets and Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, that would make you icked out of your brains.
Unless
probably.
He's like stoned. I'm like, other than if you're sober and you're a grown ass man and you pull that out and while I'm at your house, I might have.
Are there girls like that?
Oh, for sure.
Because
especially
I've only
girls in my industry.
Well,
girls
that's funny. I've only met dudes.
Chick-fil-A.
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I've met a lot of guys in comedy, especially where they're like, if you put something even remotely, it's not even weird. It's just like foreign to them.
Sushi?
They're not even, yes, exactly. Or even just like regular Mexican food, like even like that's not Taco Bell or something. It's so weird. Like they eat like children.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. Especially when you live, like LA has such a melting pot of culinary experiences. Like I can't.
Yeah.
If we lived in the suburbs, in the middle of nowhere, eat whatever the fuck you want. But if you're living in a city that is filled with rich culinary experiences,
yes,
and you're choosing Taco Bell,
what do they call it? Food desert?
Yeah, like
that's when there's like no grocery stores.
Yeah, the only time I'll probably eat like something like that is if I'm doing a road trip and I'm on the 5.
Yes, that's
literally what I imagine. If that's where you live, eat Taco Bell.
Yes.
Eat IHOP. Like, but if you live in LA and we have the best Mexican food, we got great Korean barbecue, we have sushi, we have so many good things. Like,
you know what I wish was here more was like East Coast seafood, like clams and like crab and shit like that. You know, like when you go to like
there's actually, have you been to I went with my friend Alex from What the Fuck Media to this like crab broil place right over here. It's actually fun. It's they fully.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Is it on Western?
A bag of like crawdads.
Yes,
and
I used to go to an open mic across the street from
that. Yeah. But it's so funny because it's like right in this like little area.
Yeah.
And being in LA, a lot of times people want to go to like the bougier places, but I was like craving like Creole seafood.
Sure.
So I was like, let's go here.
That's actually Bobby Lee's like new favorite thing is going to like the I think it's called like the boiling crab is one, and there's
Yeah,
like
that's
stinking
why
crab.
I'm like, I went there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's where he brings his dates now.
Whoa.
I love that. Yeah, when me and Bobby went to dinner, he took me to some like bougie, but like kind of like, it was really like good food, but like kind of like a bougier Mexican restaurant in like downtown LA. I forget the name of it, but now I'm a little offended. I feel like
You want the crab place?
I want the crab place, even though
Give him a ring.
technically it wasn't a date. It was just
Well, maybe that's why.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like, he took me to a nice ass restaurant. I'm like, we need to move this. We need to make this more.
I think the last time he went there though, a date stood him up. So it might be a sore spot right now. But he was going to them like a couple times a month for a while.
I love him. Bobbert.
Oh, Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Shout out, Bob.
We love Bob. Yeah. Trying to remember. First time I met you was the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing a set for. It was in the main room, but I'm trying to remember what the show was because it was like.
Was it Annie's show?
I think maybe.
Well, it was in the summer. Maybe. Oh no. I don't know who it would have been. Annie's or Tripoli's or. I'm trying to think back then what it would have been. Because I don't even know if Annie had a show. Sickler's show, maybe? Could have been. It was somebody's show. It wasn't the Comedy Store's.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it was someone's show, but.
Yeah. But it was in the main room.
I'm trying to think. Oh, you're banned from Canada?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a DUI. You get banned from Canada.
Oh, man.
How'd you find that out? Did you look up?
They do all the research.
Look at my police report.
Yeah.
I just had that conversation with my agent recently. He's like, "How do we fix that?" And I go, "It might not even be the case anymore. I might not be banned anymore.
Right.
I'm just scared to find out."
You should check in because they have a good little comedy scene up there.
Well, yeah, I
Or
mean,
clubs.
they have a bunch of North American
Canada
cities.
does hold a grudge. I don't want.
Well, it's like it used to be 10 years, and then at one point in like a year before my 10 years would have been up, they made it so it's permanent. So I didn't know if I'm like grandfathered in with the 10-year rule or if I then am permanent. So I have no idea.
Wow. What are what's your favorite flavor of chicken wings?
Oh, I like as hot as they can go. I mean, chicken wings are buffalo like.
Where's like the best chicken wings in LA, you would say?
Ye Rustic Inn.
Where's that?
It's a bar over on the east side, like Los Feliz area.
Oh, nice.
I used to go there all the time, and I just randomly like was there, and someone was like, "You know, they have like really good wings here," and I was like, "I'll be the fucking judge of that." And then, sure enough, they were pretty great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Noted.
Ye Rustic Inn.
I like some
That's a pretty sweet bar too.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite dive bars in LA.
Ye Rustic Inn.
I love a dive bar.
Yeah.
Anything with like a NASCAR hood on the wall. You know,
Very dark.
no windows. Maybe
Smells
a touch
kinda like
tunes.
cigarettes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A touch tunes in the corner.
Man.
It's my favorite. It's my dream.
Touch tunes in the corner. I hope that happens for you one day.
Yeah. No, I find them every now and then.
Potter's Pub.
Yeah. My father had a bar, and he always wanted to have a bar, and he got one. He got his own, and he bought a bar inside of a Clarion Inn in like New Kensington, Pennsylvania, and he's like, "It's my bar," and it was like, "Dude, no one's coming to this fucking thing. Like, no one is gonna come here." And he's like, "I don't care," and he'd have his regulars, and he'd drink himself under the fucking table.
Wow.
And eventually went out of business because he was just drinking, and he was just using it as his own like clubhouse, basically.
I feel like I would do that if I had a bar.
Yeah, me too. That's why I shouldn't do it. I'll just go to someone else's.
Yeah. You say your dad came to America and became a line cook? Where is he from originally?
He was born in Egypt.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And then he moved here when he was 17.
Is he Egyptian?
No.
Okay, I was like, because you look.
No, that's why I had to move
white.
because I don't remember. It's like Mubarak or something came to power.
Well,
You'd think I'd know the history of this shit, but I don't.
no.
Someone came to power. Mubarak, I think, was the guy, or maybe he left.
Oh.
and someone came in where they were like basically real big fans of like Islam and shit.
Oh,
so they were
shit.
gonna like oppress the white people. It was gonna get weird.
Oh.
So him and his mom like bailed out of there. Came to America, Buffalo, New York.
Born in Egypt.
Yeah.
But what
randomly.
What was his like?
His parents were Greek.
Greek.
So he's Greek or whatever.
Okay.
So like Greek people. At one point, I don't know, they were going to Cyprus, they were going to Egypt.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they decided like, I don't know, it's just
Well,
like
dude,
living
it's-
in a different state or something for
Yeah.
people over there, I guess.
It is so funny, like in other parts of the world, because I feel like for me it would be like insane, even though probably not that insane. Like the thought of like moving to Tennessee, I'm like,
Right.
that would be insane. I've been born and raised in California, but then like I have friends in Europe that they're like, yeah, maybe we'll go live in Germany this year, and then oh yeah, no, we're gonna go live in Barcelona now, and now we're gonna go live.
It's kind of the same like distance almost, or
Yeah,
even culture
But,
shock
like,
probably.
that's why I'm like, how do you guys? It's a very like admirable thing, honestly, because I'm like, wow, you guys just can adapt to
Yeah.
whatever, like different environment, different culture, different languages.
You don't think you could live on the East Coast at all?
I mean, well, Tennessee's not.
No, I know, but
I love New York.
Okay.
I do love New York. Every time I'm in New York, two places that I've like felt drawn to or kind of felt like I could see myself is New York and then Paris.
I knew she was going to say that. Did I guess it? I was about to guess it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I fucking spent like 2 months there now.
I've only spent 18. I've been to Cherbourg, France, randomly. Like I was there for like 3 days. It's like south. It's like a
okay.
port town.
Oh, nice.
I spent 3 days there, and then I did a show in Paris, but I only was there for like 18 hours. But I loved it. It was
Yeah.
like I gotta be here longer.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But I was also in like the nicest hotel in the world, so it was like
Mhm.
even for one night, it was great. I'm like, this is living.
Yeah.
I can see Macron's house from here. I mean, this is nuts.
Mm-hmm. No, it's...
Wait, were you there for the fashion week or what?
Me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Josh.
I was like,
No,
Because
I
a
did
bunch
a-
of comedians go there.
Tom did a show there. I mean, Tom does all the Europe shit. And we did a show at the Apollo Theater in Paris. I mean, that was like his first time ever touring Europe.
oh, nice.
So it was like, we did Paris, we did, the fuck was that place? Antwerp. We did like Bruges. I mean, it was amazing. But it was like every city we'd like jump around. It wasn't like we got to
Yeah.
spend any time anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was still cool though. I mean, and just the vibes of Paris was like through the roof.
Yeah.
Off the charts.
Yeah. It's so interesting that it like gets a bad rep because I don't know.
For
Like,
what reason?
they like people a lot of times are like it's overrated. The French are rude and all this stuff. I'm like, no, the
They
French
deserve to
just-
be rude.
They could, yeah. I'm like, first of all, yeah.
That's like saying New Yorkers are rude.
Yeah, but that's why too. Like, I love New York, and even like the nitty gritty parts of it, I love New York for what it is.
Mhm.
Same with Paris. I'm like, yeah, there's ghetto parts of Paris, and I still love it.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I don't think the French are necessarily rude. I think they keep to themselves, and they're not like kiss assy in the
Right.
service industry because they don't work off tips like Americans
Sure.
do.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, but yeah, they just, I don't know, anytime, especially because I don't speak French. And
I had such a hard time remembering because in Buffalo, when you grow up, Canada's like right there. It's like
oh yeah,
literally you can hit a 6-iron to Canada. And so you get all the Canadian television, and we got Canadian Sesame Street.
what?
And Canadian Sesame Street teaches French. Like they
Wow.
speak French almost the whole time too. And I used to, like when I was a kid, I used to know like phrases and words and shit. And then I took Spanish like in high school, like a sensible human being. And I went to France, like I said that first time, and I couldn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I was having such a hard time just like buying cigarettes and shit. Like it was so strange. And I go, oh yeah, they're French.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do English shit or like Spanish even. I'm like,
yeah.
hola, or I'm like, fuck.
Hola.
You know, you get your shit mixed up, you know?
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Buongiorno.
gracias. I'm like, oh, that's not it.
That's not it.
The fuck is thank you? I was trying to remember. Like, oui?
Merci.
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 Yeah, it took me fucking
The only thing I
forever.
remember and learned while I was over there is santé. Which is
Santé.
cheers. 'Cause a lot of
What
times I was
is
drinking wine.
enchanté?
Enchanté, I think, is my pleasure.
Sick.
Yeah.
Mylene Farmer now is my only exposure to French language. She's a 80s French pop star.
Oh, I'm like, no idea who that is. 80s French pop star. Well, I've like worked for French companies, and it's so funny. I was actually just telling my friend who was just here, because she was asking me if we wear these in porn, and I was like, no.
Lav mics?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm like, if there's like a heavy dialogue scene,
No, they
like
have
maybe,
booms, right?
We do usually have booms
Yeah.
for
The sex. Oh, okay.
for that. But sometimes if we're like doing more like acting and stuff, we have these.
I see. That'd be funny to see a taped lav mic to a naked body, though, for the sex part. Really take me out of it, I think.
Yeah. These are also like much more hidden when we do
Sure.
that. But this company, Dorsel, I work for, they show our movies on Canal Plus, which is like pretty much their like Showtime or HBO.
Mm.
So great exposure for the French audience, but
So they just show porn on TV, is what you're saying?
no. So they just show like the movie part, and then
they cut the sex out?
or they show like the softcore stuff. So
Wild.
we do like some, yeah.
So
It's
they
not-
show all
it's
your
not
plots.
penetration. Yeah.
And they
And
cut out, they're
also-
like, then they had
and
sex for
it's-
20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
And
these are short films, then, I'd imagine.
Yeah. No, I mean the one I just was in was like, I just saw was like definitely like over an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like a reversal of America, right? In America, we skip the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And then I guess
No one's ever like,
that's
yeah, they
oh my
always
God.
cut out the dialogue, I
Yeah.
feel.
Or like, yeah.
There are a lot of more like, I mean, I know like,
There's more like artsy.
yes, like Brie Mills
stuff.
made a bunch of
Yeah.
like really like
Yeah, she likes
films
to
with like a
do-
message.
Yeah. Yeah, she's done.
Like,
yeah,
don't
her
bully
one-
lesbians or something like that, you know?
I think her and Jane actually did like a project together a few years ago.
Oh, nice.
Where I think it was like about Jane's life before porn.
Really?
Yeah.
I know she did one with Kristen Scott that I was like, I told her, I was like, you should just be a regular actress. I mean, you're
Yeah.
so good at
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy to me. I was like,
Mhm.
it was probably insulting for me to be like, you should be a regular actress. This
Right.
is great. But she was like doing crying scenes and everything. It
Mhm.
was fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, it's fun. But so they dub over our English speaking
Oh,
scenes. So when we shoot the sex scenes, we're not allowed to talk
Oh, wow. Okay.
because they don't want to dub over this.
Well, that seems lazy.
But
Do you ever have a voice that you think like shouldn't be on me? Like dub over you, where it's like some like sailor sounding woman.
oh
where
my
she's like,
god.
and you're like, what the fuck? Why
I
would
don't
put that
know.
chick on mine?
I'm actually very curious who
You gotta hear that, because it's also that's a talent to match somebody's dub voice with like.
Yeah. I'm
Like when Seinfeld made the B movie, they had that fucking French guy. What's that French comedian he's like in love with? I forget his name, but they had him overdub it, and he was like, good. I like that. That's my guy.
That's my guy.
I forget what that guy's name was.
Yeah.
It was like one name, like Madonna.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love it.
French guys can
French
do that. They
guys.
can pull that off.
Yeah. No, I was actually talking about how I kind of wish I did that instead of Lumi Ray, just Lumina. Like
You could
not
still
say-
change it.
I don't know.
Drop the Ray.
Yeah.
P Diddy did it 1,000
P.
times.
Diddy. That's true. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean
Diddy,
Diddy Combs.
just Diddy.
Just Diddy.
Prince made a symbol. I mean, you can get rid of the Ray.
I'm just going to draw something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the funniest moment you've had with Tom Segura?
What's the funniest moment? Oh, boy. I mean, there's been some that I could never say on a
Good.
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The best times I have with Tom are when we are talking about like, I think like, I mean, before he was like so famous, we would just do clubs or whatever together. And even when he was like selling out clubs, I was like, this is crazy, man. Congratulations, you know? And, but we used to like joke about which NFL players by position had the cleanest assholes. And it's been a debate that's been ongoing for like a decade.
Oh my God.
And we have different theories on it, you know. I could get elaborate into it, but one day I will do my research and we're going to get to the bottom of it. Now that he has a lot of money, I'm hoping he funds a project where I can research this.
Yeah.
So that's my next step.
That's amazing. Are you going to do like draft picks? Is that how you got to do it?
That would be cool to do like a fantasy lineup.
Yeah,
of,
fantasy lineup.
No, because it's
not.
Assholes. Of course, the spectrum of the position is reliant on the individuals. Obviously, like individuals will have cleaner assholes than another individual. Right. But really, what the message and like goal is to find out which position group collectively has
like
the dirtiest versus yes, exactly.
Okay, versus
Yes. So my theory is it's, you know, quarterbacks obviously probably have the cleanest, but then, you know, if you're talking skill positions, like the receivers have cleaner assholes. The linemen are atrocious, but then it gets down into like which line is more atrocious. Is it defense versus offense? Which one? And that's where we kind of, our opinions differ. He thinks the offensive line. I think the defensive line is worse because I think aggression also has to do with how clean your asshole is.
I don't know if this is cheating, but like, wouldn't the kicker have the cleanest ass? Because he's like not even sweating.
Of course, the special teams, it's not even just like whilst playing, you know what I mean? It's a lifestyle thing. Oh. But kickers are definitely probably some of the cleanest assholes in the group, you know, for sure. Because some of them are like European soccer players that became kickers, so of course they're like bidetting the shit out of their assholes. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Wow.
But yes, I've done elaborate. We've got a whole spreadsheet. No pun intended. So, someday.
You need to do a set like that.
Someday we'll get to the bottom of it.
Some of my favorite like comedy sets are just
spreadsheets.
Yeah, spreadsheets. No, just like someone that you could tell is a little autistic because of how much research they did on one specific thing. And if you just make a bit out of that,
well, that becomes a TED Talk. I've seen those.
Yeah, I've seen those.
There's a couple of comics that have like PowerPoint presentations. You're like, what the fuck's?
I don't know what I would do if someone pulled out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Are you attracted to the more autistic comics?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I haven't been with a comic in a while because I feel like once the internet was like, oh, that's your thing, I was like, God damn it. Okay, I gotta.
Is the internet up your ass about that?
Ish.
That being your thing? Okay.
Ish.
All right.
There's been some podcast clips where people are like, oh, or like people have thought like there's something between me and Bobby for a minute, and I was like, no, but it's because of like,
Bobby.
Yeah, oh, poor Bobby.
It doesn't help that he constantly brings you up too. Yeah,
I've had my fair share of mistakes.
Bring you up
yeah,
pretty constantly.
Aww.
I've had my fair share of mistaken like, Josh, fuck that girl or whatever, and it's like, I wish, pal, I wish.
The thing what I think people don't realize is like, if I'm fucking someone, I'm probably not gonna like name drop them on a podcast,
right?
Or
it's
like
after,
or bring them up, or yeah, yeah, because I name dropped one person and that's been an issue.
Sure.
But me and the person are cool now. But yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Have you dated comics?
Dated one. I've dated a lot. Well, here's the thing. I've dated a lot of open mic. I didn't date them. I've slept with a lot of open micers.
Yeah.
I dated one fellow professional comic for like a very short amount of time. And I would do it again, even though that one was a flaming mess. But I would do it again because I am I find myself, if I watch a woman who I've you know, maybe I've heard of her or something, but I've never like watched her before. And then I like watch her do well. I'll have an immediate crush on her. I don't care if it's.
See,
it's just
works
something
on you too.
Yeah, no, I mean, just
The
a woman who is
aphrodisiac.
performing in any way, like even like in a band or anything. I get, and
chick.
guys, I hate when women say all the women comics are like, guys are threatened by a girl who performs or whatever. I don't get hit on after shows because guys are always like, I'm funnier than you or whatever, and it's like, yeah, sure, maybe there's some fucking dildos out there, but like,
I only know one guy. I remember I talked to one comic a few years ago who actually knows he's friends with. Anyways, he told me that because I asked him, I was like, why don't you date one of them? Like they're like brilliant. And he said he will never date another comedian. And I was like, he didn't really
did he give
elaborate.
a reason?
No, that's why I was like,
there are a lot of guys who are like, ugh, you know, I could never date it. And then also vice versa. Like I said, the women are always like, guys are always like, they'll always bring that example up. And it's like, I'm certainly not threatened by you being good at comedy. I think it's attractive and I love it. But they're always like, yeah, but that's you. I want one of the hot guys to like me for that. I'm like, well, all right.
Well,
Kick
all right.
rocks. Kick rocks, then, lady.
Yeah. Because I want to like try to start doing comedy.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
Well.
But I wouldn't.
The days
I'm not saying that dating.
The days are passing by. You got to get started sometime.
I know.
The shitty part is there's no like. Sure, you could like get like skip over a couple steps, but at the end of the day, like there's no substitution for like doing it a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So the more you do it, the better.
Bobby was gonna bring me up at I think Brea.
Oh my Lord, that would have been your first time?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So we'll see.
Well, have fun with that. I mean, I wouldn't want that to be my first time. Yikes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that to be my first time at all.
Okay. What about the belly room?
That's a little easier, but also it's just like go to an open mic and just see what it's like to, yeah, maybe even like lower than that, just to get your first one out of the way, you know?
Yeah, but I want, I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Do we
Have fun.
have fun? We'll see. I might not ever do it, but I think we have some cues from the producers.
We have a producer question.
Ooh, a producer question. I can't wait.
Well, you were wondering earlier where we heard about the DUI.
Oh, yeah.
You were recently on a podcast with Steph Tolev.
Oh, did I talk about it on there? She did.
Yeah, it came out like 8 days ago. But you also mentioned on there that you are very hairy. You actually showed.
Oh, yeah, no, I am, yeah.
So, actually, what are some of the challenges of being hairy?
Oh, it's the fucking worst. It's like you're like a dog that sheds all the time. It's like every now and then I'll like be in my hallway of my home and there's like in the corner, I'm like, is that? And it's just like a little like dust bunny. And I'm like, that's obviously all me in there. You know what I mean? It's like, who else? No one else lives here. I sweep. I don't have a pet.
Oh,
I am the pet. You know, it's like the drains, you know, it's awful. But, you know, I used to like be self-conscious about it with women, but I found out like there's some women who like love it. So it's like, it's not really a thing that I am self-conscious in that way over anymore.
I love hair.
In fact, I think I would look weird without any body hair. I feel like being bare is like, as a man, is weird almost.
Yeah.
Like hair, completely hairless.
That's actually one of my biggest turn-offs
with
like
a child, I feel
with the male porn stars.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of them are like.
But do they wax or whatever for the?
I don't know.
They're not all just naturally hairless.
No, not naturally, but like a lot of them like shave it all this. I'm like, ugh,
when I was
so much hotter if you have chest hair.
Yeah, sure. When I was a freshman in college, we went to spring break, and I was like, I wanted to go on the beach and everything, so I tried to nair my whole body.
Oh no!
And it was the worst mistake of my life. And it does come back thicker and darker once you try to do that, I promise.
Oh no.
But I also, I mean, I used it to my advantage. I mean, it was like a bit or whatever, but I was saying like during during the pandemic when every woman got an OnlyFans pretty much or whatever. I was doing shoulder hair pornography.
Hot.
So exactly. It would be like, hey, what's up, stud? And I'd put my shoulders out. Like everyone was kind of in on the bit, but after a while I was like, I felt like I was doing adult films because I was like, I don't have the energy anymore.
Yeah.
Like
You're a struggling star.
Yeah, I was one of those
I get it.
my mental health needs to come first, guys. So I'm signing off the cameos. I'm done with not taking any more customs.
I can't do any more customs.
My mental
swamped
health
this
is
week.
just too many bookings.
Too many bookings for my shoulder hair. I get it. Been there.
Were there other producer questions? I thought there would be
Yeah, I have one.
All right.
So when I was growing up, I was like a massive radio fan. I actually like listening to radio more than watching TV.
Same.
And I'm a huge Howard Stern and O&A fan.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like, as much as, I work in podcasting and I consume a lot of podcasting, no one's really captured some of that magic.
It's impossible. Yeah. I'll tell you, I miss radio. I don't miss like the pay. I got paid dog shit. I was basically destitute. But I loved it so fucking much. And it just doesn't have, podcasting is something you have to actively, purposefully click on and seek out. Radio, it used to just be people in their cars would just be like, yong, 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 and then they'd find something. They'd be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then they would sit there and listen, and you might like make them enraged, and they're like, I have to fucking call this guy. And then they're calling in and they're yelling at you on the phone. Like, you could be the most popular show in town and still have random people just be like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, people are tuning in and then they are like, oh man, what are they talking about now? Like, that doesn't happen. And you don't just jump into the middle of a podcast unless it's like streaming live. But even then, you can rewind it. You probably already know who these people are. You don't just like hit shuffle on your YouTube and a random live stream comes up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can on the radio. And I miss that shit so much every time. Like, broadcasting on radio was like my favorite thing. It's what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. And then it just fell out from under me. There's no more radio. It's just, and then it became all automated. So it took away the fun parts of it anyway. So.
Does Howard Stern still do?
He does barely. He's on like, he's making $1 trillion. Yeah. And his show is like a shell of itself. But also like, he's not 30 something anymore. He's not 40 something. He's like almost a fucking 80-year-old man. Of course he's not going to like have chicks riding a Sibian. The world has changed. He's changed. You know, he just wants to interview celebrities now. Let him have it. But it's not the same anymore. And the audience is a fraction of what it was when he was on terrestrial radio.
Yeah, and he's not like a bad, like his celebrity interviews are good, but it's still, it's not the chaos that made him.
Right. And I'm sure he doesn't even want that chaos. He's like, thank God it's not the chaos that made me. I couldn't do that shit anymore. And like, you grow up and you find out your hero, like Opie and Anthony were not heroes of mine necessarily, but they were like what I wanted to do. I like looked at them and they ended up being phonies. They hated each other since like 1999. It's like, you guys were supposed to be like the truth, the real radio. It was
pretty shocking when I found out for like years that once like they went to commercial break, they wouldn't even look at each other.
They couldn't even talk. They never talked off air. It's like, these are the people that you guys used to make fun of, that you would say like, oh, they don't even look at each other in the hallway. It's like, that's you, motherfuckers. I worked on a local show that was called Shred and Reagan. It started in '94, just like O&A, kind of was like shock jockey, and eventually just kind of moved into like comedy. And I used to write bits for them all the time and stuff. They're still on the air in Buffalo. Like, they've been on the air for almost since '94, so that's 30 years, I think. Like, they're still going, so good for them. Wow. I worked for like half that time with them, 15 years probably.
Yeah, there's also something to like radio bits that
yes,
I love those more. Like, I literally get paid to write bits for like a podcast, and it's like, it's still like it's not as good as what I used to listen to on the radio.
Dude, I used to love
so hard
creating my own sound effects. I used to love like old timey like radio theaters, you know what I mean? Where like people's like, there's a guy with coconuts like making like the horses run or whatever. Oh. And I used to love doing that kind of shit like on the air. We used to do like live like plays basically, but they'd be like raunchy, and we'd say all kinds of crazy stuff. Like in 2000 and 5, you know, we could say words that like definitely couldn't say now. And not even like fuck shit. Like you had like a set rules. You couldn't say like fuck shit. You could say ass, but you couldn't say asshole. You could say a-hole, but you couldn't say the whole asshole.
Right.
And there was just like a bunch of words you couldn't say, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any like woke parts, is what I mean to say, where it's like, hey, that was kind of a racist word, and you'd be like, ooh, you know, like sure you were saying it, you knew it was that, but you were trying to like, you know, you were saying it as like a character or something, you know, trying to be like, this guy's racist, so he says this words. You know, But I miss radio so fucking much. I wish I could do it. And that's like, I'm starting next week a show on Your Mom's House channel that's live streamed. And it's like interactive with a chat and stuff. So I could like hopefully recapture some of that like broadcasting energy or whatever. So we'll see.
You guys have any more?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
And where can the fans find you?
Oh, I'm on the internet. You can find me at J_Potter on Twitter, at Josh_Potter on Instagram. I think that's what it is on TikTok. I don't go on there. I think it's like lame. I'm too old to go on TikTok.
We'll put it in the description.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And the Josh Potter Show comes out every Wednesday, and this new show on the Your Mom's House channel starts Wednesday, March 13th for all the members, and then it'll come out the next day for everyone else, so you can watch it on replay.
Cool. You can find me at Lumi_Ray on Instagram, at Lumi Ray with 2 Y's on Twitter X.
Oh, I called it Twitter too. I'm such a boomer.
And at Lumi Ray for my spicy page. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're clapping for you.
Oh, my bad.